Hi, this is Kelly.
And this is Sue.
Welcome to Front Porch AF, where friends and neighbors
gather to have a drink and a laugh and figure out how to solve all the problems of the world. Hey,
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, by the way, we are once again on video. And so let's remember to, if we hold something up, we got to describe it for the people who are listening with their ears only.
I understand.
That's just a little pro tip.
Okay.
Pro tip.
Well, good. Okay. Well, just really quick today before we get kicked off, just to give everybody an intro of what we're doing today, we're going to be talking guns.
Guns.
I'm so excited. We have special guest Aqil Qadir, and Sue's new handgun is our special guest also.
we do have a handgun, so stay away. This is a really interesting story about how this whole subject came about. Yeah. And we'll delve into that later. Yeah, but first,
cheers. What are you drinking today?
Today, it's coffee because it's before noon. You know, yeah. I mean, I would, if we were in the tropics, I would be drinking something. If we were on vacation, I'd be drinking something that have alcohol in it. But right today, coffee.
I'm just having a diet Sprite. I almost had a breakfast beer, but then I was like, I got to operate heavy equipment later. I'll just stick with the Sprite.
Always a wise choice.
Always.
And by the way, we do have some really interesting neighborhood notes, but I want to talk to you about your neighborhood notes. You're going to go first.
Yeah, I'm going to go first. So neighborhood notes. The biggest news is that we no longer, the ice storm is come and gone, and everybody's got a lot going on. And I wanted to talk about tree removal and cleanup and scams. So we have, it looks like a hurricane or a tornado came through. If you happen to drive through Middle Tennessee, and you can see just piles and piles of debris on the side of the road. And one thing that happened during this storm is that Governor Lee suspended licensing requirements for people who were doing tree service work, which means that anyone who has knowledge and expertise can do tree work within our region to help people out. There's such a huge amount of work that needs to be done. He's done this to provide some relief. And so that actually goes through March the 7th. So up until March 7th, you can have somebody that maybe they're a landscaper and not a tree worker, but they, got the experience, they can come help you. But one thing that people really need to be aware of, though, is that does not mean that they don't have to have insurance. So they need to be insured if they come and work on your property, because if you have somebody there working that's not insured, you could potentially be held liable for that. So I think it's something to be aware of.
Because so many people will come up and down the road, and if they see trees down in your yard, they'll pull in with a pickup truck and a chainsaw, and they'll say, "Hey, lady, you want us to clear your stuff?" And if you don't take the right precautions, you could end up.
You could end up in a mess, and that's just goes right into the next thing. And we're gonna post this on the website. It's from the Tennessee.gov. It's all the red flags to look for. Number one, they're riding around door to door, salesmen. High pressure tactics. If somebody's like, "Oh, I want to do this, but I need you to give me an answer right now," like that's a red flag. Big red flag. Do not do this. Don't ever pay anybody up front.
Yeah.
That is most contractors, and the contractors we work with, and they're great, A&G Tree Service, they are amazing. They don't ask for a dime till they get it done. Mm-hmm. And they've already been out to my house twice and done two different things for me, and they know they got to come back, and I haven't paid them anything yet.
Same thing here. They've been out once, they're coming back again to finish up, and no payment.
Yeah. And that is a sign of a reputable business. Additionally, they are licensed and insured. So if you're getting people to work on your property and help get you this cleanup, please pay attention to these things. Anybody that's coming and asking for payment up front is probably not anybody you want to work with.
The same holds true for the people who drive by and say, "Oh, we've got a load of asphalt. Would you like us?" Or, "Gosh, your roof looks like it needs a little." Yeah. We were in the neighborhood.
Yeah. It's all the same concept. And then, get them to give you an estimate. And if I rarely have a very detailed written estimate, but in these days, if you aren't familiar with the people you're working with, get them to write down exactly what they're going to be doing for you and exactly what you're paying for. And don't fall for the, so we're going to actually have a show on insurance and homeowners insurance, in the next couple of weeks, but don't fall for the, your insurance will cover all this. Don't worry about it. Because that is actually, if a tree falls on your house, yeah, sure. But if the tree's just falling in your yard, there's a chance your insurance probably isn't going to cover even any of it. So don't fall for that line either. A lot of those scammer guys will come in and say stuff like that. So
Yes.
anyway, we're going to have this on our website. I'll probably post it on Instagram and Facebook too. It's a link to this PDF doc that's really pretty helpful for what you need to look out for when you start trying to hire somebody to help you with what you got to deal with in your yard.
And our hearts still go out to all the people whose beautiful, fabulous trees have come down. Although there are a number of people who have said the hackberry should now be the new dreaded natural enemy rather than the brown recluse spider.
Yeah, I mean, hackberries are the worst. And there's this guy that lived in the Bend named Jack Barnes, Mr. Jack Barnes. He was married to Miss Judy Barnes. And he used to say, thinking about trees and thinking about hackberries, they're kind of like breath. And bad breath is better than no breath. But actually, I'm going to take umbrage with that right now because it's hackberries.
There was a great bluegrass band years ago called the Hackberry Ramblers.
Oh, gosh.
And, we did...
Have they broken up?
Oh, you devil. Now that's tree humor.
That is tree humor.
Absolutely tree humor. Any more neighborhood notes from you?
No, I don't think so.
Well, you will note.
Oh, okay. I do. Tomorrow is Fat Tuesday, so happy Mardi Gras to anybody celebrating.
Oh, is it Fat Tuesday?
Yeah, tomorrow's Fat Tuesday.
Every Tuesday is Fat Tuesday for me. Every day is Fat Tuesday for me. Okay. What is around my neck? Ladies and gentlemen who are just listening, I will post a picture of this on the web, but it is... Go ahead, Kelly.
What is it? It says, love is deaf.
Artist all access.
That says, flip the other side. It says VIP.
VIP. Mark and I did Anna and Michael Webb's annual tribute to love songs. Love is deaf. Anyway, we did it on Saturday. We dressed up kind of as Sonny and Cher to do I Got You, Babe, but Mark's wig got lost.
Oh, no.
And so he just looked like this bald guy at the piano.
I was a bald Sonny.
You were a bald Sonny.
Yeah, he's a bald Sonny.
But Sonny had great hair, like all the way up to the end.
And the wig looked really good on Mark. I don't know where it went.
Oh,
so
no.
if anybody out there finds a brown beetle wig, it's ours, and it was lost. My second neighborhood note, which I think you will find interesting.
Okay.
I am handing Kelly a bag, and this is going to lead in to our special guest.
What is this? I'm totally
This is
surprised about this.
all the ammunition I bought to test out guns I didn't buy.
Oh my God.
But I know that they will find a home.
And they'll find
They'll
somebody
find
will shoot them.
Somebody will shoot him because she's got a lot more guns than I do. Show them your guns, Kelly.
This is great. See?
Yes, so have some ammo.
Let's see. What all did you practice with? A 38?
Yes, a 38
38
special. By the way, everybody told me that you would really like a revolver because it was small and it was light. Well, yeah, but the recoil, my poor little arthritic hands, the recoil did. And then in the 9mm, the semi-automatic 9mm that I was testing.
This is a 9mm right here.
Yes, that's a 9mm ammo right there.
That's awesome.
I had so much trouble taking the slide back to reload it. It was very difficult. And when we get into the discussion, it will become apparent why an old person like me needs to have a gun that she can shoot, and not just for looks. You know.
Yeah.
So that's my neighborhood notes.
That's
also,
cool.
I'm taking off to Florida to
I
see my
that,
sister.
yeah.
Taking off to Florida.
And
to see
Bob's
my
going to be
sister.
down there? Dr. Bob's
Dr. Bob is going to be down there. We are meeting for a drink in New Smyrna Beach, and we'll post pictures.
That's awesome. That sounds fun.
Yeah,
I think.
Anything else?
No, I think that's pretty much it. Is there anything in the mailbag we want to chat about?
Let me see. Is there some? Oh my God! In the mailbag, TikTok report. This is a power of social media thing.
Okay.
Stacy Huckabee, who is our guest on the last episode, social media influencer. Well, when she posted about us on her TikTok, we went up to double the views and
Oh, wow.
listens
Thanks,
that
Stacy.
following day. Thank you, Stacy
Thanks, Stacy.
Huckabee.
That's amazing.
So, by the way, all of our shows are accessible at all podcast outlets. If you go to our website, you can find all of our audio podcasts, all of our video podcasts, all of our front porch bonus videos.
Yeah.
And what is that website, Kelly?
www.frontporchaf.com.
All right, there you go.
That's where you can find us.
And look at the little
think it's
hand on the
time.
clock. Here's the clock. Here's the clock. It's time.
All right, it's time. So today we're going to talk about guns, and I grew up around guns, starting with cap gun revolvers. And if you know, and if you've had one, you know the smell of that burning paper, and the feel of getting your finger, that thin part right between your thumb and your hand, caught in the in the hammer. I've had Daisy BB guns for as long as I can remember, and I currently own 2.
You'll shoot your eye out.
They'll shoot your eye out, but they don't work that great against the squirrels on my bird feeder, but I try anyway. And my first real gun was a 20 gauge single barrel shotgun that my dad brought home to me, and he brought me and my brother each one. I think I was 10 and he was 8. And you know, anybody that listens knows I'm an avid hunter. So I would disappear in the woods for hours hunting with that gun. I never killed anything, but I was out there having adventures. And all that to say, I grew up around guns for hunting. I mean, I had a .22 pistol, but that was really just for fun. And I'd never been around handguns. And so it wasn't until I was late 30s before I even fired a real handgun and took a real gun safety class and got my permit to carry. And that's this is a completely different world, the handgun world and the automatic rifle world. And so that's our topic today. We're going to be focusing on that type of gun and gun carrying. And part of this episode, part of leading up to this, Sue embarked on her journey to gun ownership.
That's right.
And we're going to have a little bonus video where Sue and I do a porch talk, and me and this 77-year-old hippie but pro-Constitution person talk about her journey to a handgun and share thoughts from the radical left on what it's like to own, how we think about owning guns. But to start that journey, Sue and I signed up for a basic gun safety class with the Citizen Safety Academy, which we're going to hear about that today. And we have with us today Aqil Qadir from the Citizens. He founded the Citizen Safety Academy, and he is our favorite gun instructor, and we're super excited about having him. But he has all kinds of courses, and he'll tell us about those. But we took just a basic how do you handle a gun course, and it's like a very nice, kind introduction and very easy for anybody at any level. But we're really excited to have Aq with us today. He's the founder and the lead instructor for the Citizen Safety Academy. His background as a firearms instructor started at age 12, teaching urban youth in his father's gun club. He followed in his father's footsteps, becoming an NRA certified instructor at the age of 22. He has been training civilians for over 30 years. And I'm telling you guys, it really shows he is the best teacher. He's also trained law enforcement for over 25 years, and his passion for teaching regular people how to keep themselves and their families safe is really shines through if you get an opportunity to work with Aq. He's got a whole page full of certifications and things he's done, but he's a range master pistol shotgun instructor certification. He's a master instructor for that. Yavapai Firearms Academy instructor, Defense Training International pistol instructor, NRA training counselor and certified instructor in several disciplines, NRA law enforcement, pistol, shotgun, rifle instructor, chief range safety officer for the NRA. The NRA refused to be a victim instructor and regional counselor. I mean, it just goes on and on. I could take up the whole rest of the podcast reading all the things that he's been certified in, he's an expert in. But for now, I just would like to say, before we bring him on, I want to give one little intro about the reviews, and you go read about Aq. One of the things, what I was reading, almost every review said, if I could give more than 5 stars, I would. And we got a review from a guy who's got a military background who took the basic course that Sue and I took, and he said, It was great. I learned stuff in that course. And that's what happens when you work with Aqil. And we're really happy to have him on the show today. And so, Aqil, will you come over and join us?
Yes, please come over. And all of this and links to the Citizen Safety Academy will be on the web and in our socials, because also I'm going to hold up something before
while
he's getting himself
situated.
up. This is, and I'll have a picture of it. This, I finished with 100% the test. I have the, I'm going to get my carry permit. I have an appointment March 18th to get my carry permit. And to get your carry permit, you have to have taken and passed a safety class for carry permits. And I'm holding this safety up, and it is signed by Aqil Qadir. Yay! Thank you, Aqil Qadir.
So,
Thank you.
I want to get back to Sue's certificate in a minute, but before we get there, what brought you to Tennessee and inspired you to start Citizen Safety Academy?
If I'm honest, I'm a Second Amendment refugee, actually.
What?
I consider myself, yeah.
Tell me.
It's funny. I was listening to you talk about your background. It struck me as I said, why didn't we shoot more shotguns? My dad was into it, and he had some rifles and a few shotguns, but it was mostly pistols because I grew up in Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
And so if there was going to be any shooting, it was done. We had to go out. My dad ran my mother and father were like community activists. And so they ran a agricultural enrichment program for inner city kids.
Cool.
Where they would in the summer, where they would take the kids out into Springfield, New York, where they had some land, and we would spend almost the whole summer out there. So I tell people jokingly, but it's true. It'd be Run DMC, during the winter, and Oak Ridge Boys, during the summer, I knew those songs, Elvira and all that, because we were living out, and my dad would take kids from the projects out there and things like that, so that they could see something other than the hood we were growing up in. But I was born in the Black Power movement.
Yeah.
My dad changed his name, and he wasn't born Aqil Qadir. I was. People ask, "That's the name you were born with?" Yeah, my dad changed his name though, because it was the slave master's name.
Yeah.
He went through that whole thing. So, we didn't have long guns. It was pistols because it was urban environment, and it was self-defense from the jump. It wasn't about hunting. I did do some hunting with my dad, but only in the summer. And the truth is Springfield, New York was 2 hours away, and so it would take us too long to get there to really do any hunting per se, so just interesting how that come about. But we were always Second Amendment. My dad's approach to, Black Power and Black freedom was that, we actually studied together the underlying role that guns played in the Black freedom movement.
Yeah.
I've actually went to school, and I got a degree in political science, but I was going to go back and get a master's degree and actually do something on this, because my dad, it was like a pet project between me and him. We read these different books about the things that went on. And for example, the night riders, where they would stay at night, was often protected with guns. Yeah. Because the Klan would come and kill them all if they could. Yeah, and
Absolutely.
and that's what I found out about Hartman Turnbow and E.W. Steptoe and C.O. Chin and all these guys that were heroes of the freedom movement that you don't really, even the civil rights movement that you don't hear about, because that's just not part of the popular narrative. And so my dad was big on the role that guns play in freedom. Yeah. And so we were always big Second Amendment people. And even when it wasn't cool in his community, to really support it like that, because, it's always couched in, right politics. Yeah. So I got to a point where I decided I did want my kids to hunt. Yeah, and so I said I gotta get out of Buffalo, and the Buffalo public school system was in a shambles and things like that, and I just wanted my kids to see. And if you don't know, Buffalo is always ranked, like Detroit and those places, as one of the most racially segregated places in America.
Really?
Mm-hmm, always ranked.
I did not know that.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I lived in Chicago for a long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll find out that when we went up with the Great Migration, Black people, we went into enclaves, and so if you go to Buffalo, there's where the Irish people lived, and where the Polish people lived, and where the Black people lived, and so very, very, very racially segregated, and I didn't want that for my kids. So,
Okay.
and I found
So
that
you
as
moved
I
to the South.
believe, funny, go figure.
I was going to say, I feel like I've always lived in a racially segregated place.
Well, it started to change. And
Yeah.
so, because initially we went to Northern Virginia, which was very, racially
Yeah,
diverse,
yeah,
extremely
yeah.
racially diverse. But then that got priced out. And so then the thing is, okay, I want to do guns more. Where can I do that? And I saw that Nashville was beginning to change.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, well, I can be part of the new South. And actually, as I came down, I found out that there is still, I feel, more racial cohesion in Nashville than in Buffalo. Easy.
Wow. Yeah.
Easy.
Maybe so.
Well, yeah. I totally understand where you're coming from. Having been, Chicago has often been described as the most segregated city,
yeah.
even though it has one of the largest black populations. Yeah.
Well, I mean, MLK was up there for a long. MLK Jr.
Yeah.
He moved his family up there, and you hear his writings about that. It was very segregated and very kept in a certain way.
Well, Martin Luther
Poverty.
King was able to do things here. When they ran him out of Indiana and places like that. And if you study, the Klan started in Pulaski, Tennessee, but it found its biggest membership in Indiana.
10 miles from our hometown.
Are
Yeah,
you
Mooresville,
serious?
Indiana.
Yes.
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 They almost got a presidential candidate until he got until he got convicted of rape.
Oh God.
This is in the 20s.
Yeah, that wouldn't matter now.
But we digress. We're here to talk about
Yes, so
Citizens Safety Academy and guns.
but so that's why I'm here.
Oh, I love that.
why.
So, do you always carry?
Every day.
Okay.
And I carry a gun every day, but it's just part of a ensemble, I should say.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is, typically if I got my pants on, I got a gun on, but I don't leave the house without pepper spray.
Yeah, I know. I'm a
Yeah,
big
that-
fan of your pepper
Yes,
spray.
because I'll probably need that
Yeah.
more than I'll ever need a gun. You know.
I had this
I have
conversation.
pepper spray in my purse right
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
I had this conversation with my girlfriends. I'm like, they all have their permits. We all have guns. And I'm like, I'm way more likely to pepper spray somebody. By the time I figure out I need to shoot that person, it's too late for me because I'm going to give somebody the benefit of the doubt before I decide I need to get my gun out.
And good OC, which is what pepper spray is, oleoresin capsicum, is a de-escalation. If you
Yes,
use it
yes.
properly, it can prevent you from having to use your firearm.
Yeah.
And so I don't go out of the house with just the lethal option. If I do have a gun on, I always have a less than lethal option on.
And
Yeah.
I remember that from your class, that the preferred don't go to DEFCON 1 immediately.
Yeah.
Start at 5, unless somebody's coming at you with DEFCON 1.
Right.
You know.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
for the pistol, it's about the stakes and not the odds. With the OC, it's about the odds and not the stakes.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That's a great thing to remember. I mean, I emblazoned. I get it tattooed. I mean,
Is that going to be your next tattoo?
we'll talk.
Okay. So I mean, it's so easy to get a gun down here in Tennessee, right? So why would somebody even bother to get a permit?
Because the rules of engagement, and you need to, one of the issues with, one of the downsides about the easy availability of firearms, if there is a downside, and there is that people don't tend to educate themselves properly on its proper use, its proper storage, its safe storage, and its proper use. And what a permit will do is teach you, first of all, when and how to use it, how to maintain it properly, how to store it properly, if you get a good class.
Yeah.
And all those other things that come along with it. And a good class will teach you that the gun is not the answer.
Yeah.
This is the answer.
Yeah.
The gun is just a tool. And if you just have the tool without, if you don't know how to use a chainsaw properly, it's catastrophic,
Yeah, exactly.
So learn how to use the thing properly first. And that way, you know what, when and how, and, because if you're defending yourself against, a violent criminal attacker, you have rules. As long as there's Constitution and rule of law and all that stuff and courts and things, we still have rules that we have to do it
That's
by.
right.
Yeah.
They don't,
Yeah.
and so the biggest deal is people learning those things, and if nothing else, learning that they don't want a gun in their life, that kind of thing, because sometimes, if you don't get the proper education to go along with it, you actually can be bringing something very negative into your life.
Yeah. So just along the lines of permits. So when I got my carry permit, 16 years ago here in Nashville, I went to class, and then I went to the range, and I had to do a qualifying round. And then now Sue's telling me she took a class online, and she's just got to go to the DMV.
But that's just for the care. That's just concealed carry.
What's the difference between these types of permits?
Well, in Tennessee, we have two types. We have the enhanced permit, which used to just be the permit. But then at some point before the Tennessee Firearms Association got the political will to be able to push through permitless carry, that was kind of like a stopgap, which was the concealed only permit. And so in that case, it's a much lower level of education, and so it allows the holder to carry a gun, but only concealed. Your enhanced permit allows you to carry it openly or concealed.
Okay.
Now, having said that, open carry of a pistol, I think I support the right to do it, but I think it's dumb.
I know.
It's very provocative.
It's a bad idea. Yes, it is.
Yes, very provocative. That's a good word.
It's a bad idea. So I do believe guns should be concealed. And not just for, the reasons of being a good neighbor, but also tactically, your best tactical advantage is that no one knows you're armed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I see these guys going in Home Depot with their gun.
And they think that it deters crime, but unfortunately, if you know anything about, violent criminal actors, the kind of guys that are going to come grab your gun are the worst.
Yeah.
You're actually drawing, bees, you know what I'm saying, hornets. Yeah.
But speaking of the different classes, and one of these days when I have the 8 hours to do it, I am going to do the enhanced because, anyway, there's a lot of reasons. But taking the concealed carry class, one of the points that just rang in my mind was, the biggest causes of gun, I don't want to say accidents, but gun misbehavior, a tragedy with a gun, ignorance and carelessness.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And those are all in your mind.
Yes.
And it's training and caring about something, giving a rat's ass.
Yes.
And I think practice. I think you talk about that in your class
yes.
too. That like keeping yourself familiar and comfortable, and not you don't only be comfortable again, but what you're doing. You aren't just like picking up your gun once it.
Most places that teach this, if you come to our permit class, what sets it apart, and that class there, our online class, we did just so that we had something out there, because the state only required an hour and a half, but if you notice, ours was 3 hours.
Oh God, 3 hours.
And we couldn't do any less than that. We looked at it and we were like, we can't. If they don't take this, then they just don't come to us, because we can't distill it down any less. But when you come to our class, we're the ones to tell you. First thing we say is, becoming responsibly armed is a process and not a class. Mm-hmm. All this is a field trip today to hopefully get you on the road. Then you start, it's like anything else that you do. If you're going to live the armed lifestyle, and once you bring a gun into your life, you are living the armed lifestyle. It requires some study, and even if you have any fear, what's the best way to erase fear? Learn everything you can about something, so. And that sets us apart from a lot of places who will say basically, hey, you got a Second Amendment right to get a gun, come in, stamp your, give you a little stamp of good seal of approval and send you out into the world. We tell you in the beginning of our classes, this is what we think is a part of being a responsibly armed America. This is what this class will cover. This is what this class doesn't cover.
Yeah. So
now you need to go out and get it. And if you don't, that's your choice, but just know that you're not doing what you need to do to be a responsibly armed, safe, and responsibly armed American.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're going to do a separate porch video about my journey and the individual things that happened with me and my decisions to, for instance, register with a very local range so that in 5 minutes I can get there and I can get in a half hour of practice. Yes. Mm-hmm. But I digress again.
But you digress. But Sue, do you want to talk about your gun storage? You want to get into that with us?
Yes, I do. I want to talk to you about safe gun storage. It was we reviewed it in class, but it's one of the things that I think people need to know, that when somebody says, oh, it's got a safety, you're fine. Or if you put it in a lockbox in your car, it's going to be fine. Please talk about safe gun storage and transportation.
It's an extremely important topic, especially here in Tennessee, where we lose about 3,000 guns a year to the criminal element out of vehicles and things like that, because people don't store them. And I remind people that your family, your loved ones are the most in danger if you don't do this properly. Typically the ones you bought it to actually protect, and keep alive. So storing a gun, if it's not, we have a quick saying, if it's not being used, If you're in a place that you can shoot it legally, morally, ethically, and socially, that's set up for that, then go ahead and do it. If you're going to do anything else, clear it first, as we talked about it. And when it comes to storing it, we can store it in a way that unauthorized and untrained people do not have access to it. Okay, and that depends on your lifestyle. I mean, if it's just you living alone with your dogs, that's one thing. But if you like me, and now you got grandkids showing up, I gotta make sure that my house and the way guns are stored in my home are stored in a certain way that unauthorized and untrained people can't get to them. But if I need it in an emergency, then I can get to that quickly.
Yeah.
All right. And the cool thing is there's a lot more options for that than they were when I was growing up. You know, my dad, we got holes in the floor and from the bad old days. But now that, you know, the one cool thing about the gun culture opening up, and I've been around long enough to see it open up. I've been doing this since the 80s. Is that now we've got more and more things like that than we used to. So there are lock boxes you can get that are made of pretty solid gauge steel that you can get into pretty quick because they've got a like simplex government lock on it. And you can actually keep a loaded gun in there, and your grandkids or unauthorized or untrained people can't get to it.
Yeah. And if you get one with a biometric read, which is the one I got, your fingerprints, and if I can't remember that code in a moment of stress, my fingerprint will open.
Awesome.
That, you know, that.
Awesome.
Of course, I don't want to be that nervous.
Right.
And tell me about carrying a gun in a car. You talked about this is we lose 3,000 weapons a year.
Yeah.
Out of vehicles because people think that storing them in their glove box or their center console or underneath the seat is a good idea, and it's not. Or you got social media showing you some stupid magnet that you can put in your car that it attached to. It's all dumb ideas. There are boxes. You can get a good box from someplace like Academy Sports, $20-$30. Won't stop a cat burglar or anything, you know, but it'll stop a smash and grab, and it's attached to the vehicle, you know, in a way, and you can move it around a bit. And so in our classes, we show people those type of options and give them options and tell them where they can get those kind of things. And we try to do it in a way that's affordable too.
Yeah.
You know.
Are there rules about, I guess if you're carrying your gun, it can be loaded. Like you got guns in your car, do you need to have them unloaded or?
No, not in the state of Tennessee.
Okay.
No. The gun, I mean, the gun is a car almost in the state of Tennessee is almost like your home.
Okay.
And I don't think people look at it like that, but I think they need to because, you know, just like you would secure a gun in your home, you should secure a gun in your vehicle too.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Emergency situation.
Yes, this is what I really want to hear about.
It's
this.
midnight. You hear somebody coming through your door, kicking in your window, whatever. What do you do if you got your gun in a safe? Like, what's that scenario look like?
Okay, so first, my house is lit. The outside of my house is lit, so that's avoidance, deterrence, and de-escalation is the job. The gun is for when that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you come on my cul-de-sac, my house is the most lit up house on the cul-de-sac. Well, my neighbors actually, they're the Christmas people and they're the lighthouse. Short of them, we've got the security lights all over our house. For no other reason, I'd rather you select a house that's dark, and that's what a burglar would do. Okay. Yeah. Then the inside of my house is not daylight lit, but it's lit low lit. Yeah. My bedroom where I sleep is dark, and that room is locked. So that even if I may wake up to you jiggling that doorknob, that buys me time.
Yeah.
Because time and space give you options. Okay. So that door is locked, so that if somebody's jiggling that door, that may be what wakes me up. Okay. Yeah. Then there's the lockbox with the gun. And honestly, for my home, I defend my home with the inside of the house. The cool thing about your house, like we always say, you don't know when, you don't know where. Okay, you choose when you carry a gun. Somebody else chooses when and where you need it. The cool thing about your house is that the where is already figured out. So you can set your house up to give you every advantage in those situations. So let's say that's happening, right? And there's at the door. We stay ensconced. I'm not going to look through my house. I was a cop at one time, and I know going through houses is scary, and I hate people who teach other people to do that kind of stuff, but, you know, especially if they're not going to train and do it like a SWAT team. So we're staying ensconced. That's our safe room, I guess, right? And our room is set up so that if you come through the door, you have to come across the bed to get to us, which does what? Buys us time. Right? Yeah. And then me and my wife, we defend our homes with a shotgun.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes that sound is all you need.
As a hunter, what's more? You don't hunt large game with pistols, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Would this be a good time to ask about the classes that you offer at
Yeah, tell us
Citizens
about that,
Safety
yeah.
Academy?
Sure.
There's a lot of classes.
And they're all great.
I appreciate that.
And you have them. Go ahead. You need to tell us about them because
what we focus on in Citizen Safety Academy is we like to teach regular people how to defend themselves. You know, regular urbanites, suburban, suburban people how to defend themselves. We don't do though I'm retired law enforcement, I don't teach in a law enforcement matter. And I do have some, armed guard classes that I do to help pay the bills. But generally, most of the stuff we focus on is a crawl, walk, run approach to get people to be able to defend themselves.
Gotcha.
So we start with, how to shoot a handgun, which is our new shooter class. And then we'll go to the permit class, what we tend to recommend people. Then after that, we have a defensive pistol series, which starts with, no holster because it's for the house. And then after that, if you want to go past that to like defensive pistol 2 or 3, then we introduce you to holster work, that kind of thing. But and those classes are just 4-hour classes that we do in the evening because people got jobs and lives. So we try to give you little bite-sized chunks. Letting you know in training, though, and this is important, training is to teach you how to practice. You will never anchor a skill in a class. So what our classes are set up to do is to teach you how to practice. Because what most people don't realize, and I think I said that in that class, is that you can get to know your gun in the safety, quiet warmth of your own home. And figure out what all those bells, levers, whistles, and doohickeys and buttons are hanging off the firearm, and how this thing works and what happens. Now you can do that with an empty gun, you know what I'm saying, and make sure that you do it in a safe manner and in a safe area. But that's the best place to learn your own firearm.
Yeah.
And then you can take it to the range. And I will show you in our bonus video, which we will be filming in a few minutes, my first target.
Yeah, and that's your deterrent. I think we just hang that outside your house.
Just hang that outside my house. This was just her first time, ladies. Just think about it afterwards. We've got to wrap this up, but anything else that you want to? Citizen Safety Academy.
I just want to say, as a woman, that I do appreciate, I've taken the class twice for a couple of different reasons, and you always have, your wife has been there, and you've got women on your staff, and it's always just a really comfortable, great place for a woman to come and learn. And I just want to say thanks for that. And I encourage, we're going to try to set up, I'm trying to get, there's a small group, my stepdaughter and my partner and a couple of my best friends, get a group to come and take that class again with you. Because, like I said, I've been around guns forever and had handguns for a while, but it's so foundational, and you just hit home on so many things.
You also have a Girls and Guns group.
Yes, we have several, actually. I teach them more than I teach the guys. I like teaching women better anyway, because you guys listen and you understand technique. And
Are you saying something about men?
I don't care. I've been doing this a long time, and I'd much rather teach women than cops any day of the week.
Oh, right.
But yeah, we've got 3 women's groups now.
Oh, wow.
That we're operating. And there's an intro, intermediate, and advanced level group of just women shooters.
And y'all do one on the pepper spray too, don't you?
We do a pepper spray class. Unfortunately, it doesn't sell as much as I'd like to, but I bring a girl up from Chattanooga who's phenomenal. And when I saw her class, I said, "You teach this better than I do. So would you mind teaching it here?"
Now I want to take
I want to take the pepper spray class.
We'll take a pepper spray class. We'll do a video about it.
That's awesome.
We've got to say thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Aq, so much
Thank
for coming.
you for having me.
Citizen Safety Academy, all of the links will be all over.
Yes, and I have one more. I need to shout out to Aqil Qadir because I really wanted, this is Aq's wife. I wanted Ty to join us today. She couldn't make it, but thanks for letting us borrow him for this.
Yes.
We appreciate it. And
okay, we will put up some action items, over things you can do to take positive action if you are interested in handgun ownership.
Yeah.
Handgun or gun ownership, period.
Right. And we'll have links to the Citizen Safety Academy and all their classes, and we may be organizing a class, Front Porch AF.
And stick around, there will be a bonus video. Aq's going to show me how to safely handle my gun for all of you out there and load it. Okay.
All right. That's it.
Next show.
Our next show, I think I alluded to it. We're going to have a real good friend of mine who's been selling insurance for a long time. He's going to talk to us about homeowners insurance. How do you know what to get? How much should I get? What is it going to cover? When should I file a claim?
When is it worth it to file a claim?
When is it worth it to file a claim?
Yep.
What happens if I get dropped? And I don't know. I've been
Renter's insurance too.
Renter's
Same
insurance.
thing
Ever
goes.
since I've had so many people ask me these questions after this ice storm. Are you going to file? I mean, like, I'm not filing a claim.
Yeah.
I don't have a big enough claim. So so I think it'll be helpful for a lot of people. And had a friend that had a motorcycle accident, which brought up some issues around how much uninsured motorist.
Yeah, we could
insurance
talk
should you
about
carry.
that because I'm a beneficiary of that.
So anyway,
okay.
so we're going to have our next show on that. I think it's going to be really good. And until then, anything else, Sue, that you need to
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
You can find us on all
TikTok.
the socials except
tweet.
right. And please check us out anywhere that you get your podcast. We're on every one of them: Spotify, YouTube,
Yeah, the
Amazon, Apple,
frontporchaf.com. So, and this is where, okay, everybody looking out there, this is where we've done this dozens of times. We've done this
27
rapid.
times.
27. This is
Or
our 27th episode. Kelly, would you like to read what? So,
Where are we?
we're down at the bottom, at the very bottom.
Okay, get me.
So until next time,
When we gather on our audio front porch, grab a drink.
and solve all the problems of the world. Cheers,
Cheers, y'all.
y'all. Clink.